ripped my pretty dust jacket. No. See, this is why I don't like dust jackets. Hello, I'm Jessie the Sleepy Koala, and welcome back to another Bookmas video. Today, I will be doing the Christmas songs book tag, which was created by Haley from Haley in Bookland. Question number 1. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. Name a villainous character you couldn't help but love. So a couple of months ago, I read A Winter's Promise by Christelle Dabos, and in it, there is this character, Archibald, who is the most full of himself person who thinks that he's so good and that he can get anyone he wants and can do whatever he wants because he's so smooth. And the thing is, he is. He really is. He just has that charisma that I'm reading along and I'm like, yep, you actually could do these things. Yes, you could. I do think you could do them. And I do think that you can just easily seduce people because you're super charismatic and they fall for your charm. And I'm going to pretend like I'm not falling for your charm, even though I totally am. I don't actually know if he's a villain overall in this book series. I do know that he is not a good guy in the first book. He's not presented as one, so I'm just going to take this as antagonist of some sort. But I very much think he fills that quota. Question number 2. All I want for Christmas is you. Which book do you most hope to see under your Christmas tree? A book that I'm really hoping to get, because I'd really like to read it sometime soon, is The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni, who is a prominent Australian YA author. I've heard a lot about this book because it's going around particularly the Australian Booktube circle at the moment, and it sounds fascinating. It's about a healer who works in a prison named Kiva. Kiva is tasked at keeping the Red Queen alive when she is sent to the prison to take place in the Trial of Ordeal, a series of elemental challenges assigned only to the most dangerous criminals. This sounds like a very interesting book, and people have given it a lot of praise, so I'm very interested in reading it. Question number 3. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Name a character that overcomes major obstacles and learns to believe in themselves. So despite my dislike of the book overall, Cytonic from Brandon Sanderson, the main character Spencer Nightshade, she really is put through her paces this book to examine who she is and who she wants to be and what she deserves as a person versus what she has to choose. It's such an emotional roller coaster to watch her go through these difficult questions that don't have a good answer and don't really have a right answer. In the end, she makes the decision that she needs to make, even though it is the hardest decision she could have made. But she grows so much in this book. She's grown this entire series, and I think the first book in the series is also a great example of a character who is growing up. But I would say that this book is more the one where she learns to believe in herself because she becomes so much more secure in who she wants to be and what she wants to do going forward and being able to make those hard decisions. She's not a child anymore, and it's very clear by the end of this book that she really isn't a child and has had to do a lot of the legwork that other people her age probably haven't. Question number 4. Santa Claus is coming to town. There's 2 parts to this. The first being, which character do you think would be on top of the naughty list? And which character do you think would be on top of the nice list? For this prompt, I'm going to choose characters from the same book. That book being Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. I think the person on the top of the naughty list is Kaz Brecker, and he would be happy to be there. He is completely fine doing whatever the hell he wants, and he doesn't really care whether it hurts people or is a crime or anything like that. He just fulfills his own selfish desires. For the nice list though, I'm gonna go with Nikolai Lantsov from King of Scars, also by Leigh Bardugo. This guy is a pure cinnamon roll and should be wrapped in a blanket and given a hug. He is the nicest person who always tries to do the best for the people around him and truly, truly cares for the people that he's trying to rule. Question 5. Frosty the Snowman. Which book just melts your heart? So for this, I had to go with some manga because I don't actually have that many books that are super heartwarming. Like, I'm not much of a romance reader, even though I would kind of like to get more into it. And a lot of the books that I do have are more on the dark and depressing side. But I do have the Cardcaptor manga by Clamp. I adore Cardcaptors. It is one of the first shows I remember being into when I was a kid. I must have been like 4 or 5. And I just loved following Sakura's adventures after she found the Clare book, which I also happen to have. I have had this since I was like 6. This is very old, and I got it when the show first came out in English, so it was very big at the time. But her adventures are just so whimsical, and you know that they're always going to have a happy ending. I really want to reread these books. I'm slowly collecting these special editions, which are absolutely beautiful. I am just, they are gorgeous. I'm really looking forward to more of those heart-melting moments. Question number 6. Feliz Navidad. Choose a book that takes a place in a country other than your own. For this question, I go with Anxious People by Fredrik Backman because it takes place in Sweden. This is a book about a bank robbery gone wrong that turns into a hostage situation and is told after the event by the police talking to the witnesses and the hostages of the crime. Now, this was not a book for me. I know that Backman is an author that a lot of other people really like, so someone else will probably really like this even though I didn't. Question number 7. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Which holiday-themed book do you use to spread the Christmas joy? I don't actually read that many Christmas books. I really should change this. I really should read some more Christmas books this year and have like a better spread of things to talk about. But I don't. And I don't actually know if I've read any Christmas books. I do own A Christmas Carol and Other Christmas Tales by Charles Dickens. I am going to try and read A Christmas Carol this year because I've never read it and I liked the movie. So I would like to see what it's like. So I'm just going to go with A Christmas Carol because it's Christmassy and I own it. Question 8. Which fictional character would you choose to spend the holidays with? So for this question, I can't just choose one character. I really need to choose a family of characters. That family being the Blackthorns from Lady Midnight or the Dark Artificers series. The Blackthorns are the most wholesome, heartwarming family in maybe all the books I've ever read. I loved all of them equally, and just the family dynamic that was between all of them was fantastic to read. I just know that they would have the best Christmases together, and they really would encompass that whole idea of Christmas being a family time where you can bond and really hang out and celebrate together. Question 9. Baby, it's cold outside. Which book that you didn't like would you sacrifice the fire to warm yourself up in the cold? Nevernight by Kristoff. One of the worst books that I've read. There was very little plot for most of this book. The magic powers of the main character fluctuated depending on how strong she needed them to be and were super overpowered when they needed to be. There were some very questionable decisions made in this book and they didn't even matter in the end. And on top of this, there were characters we were introduced to that seemed like they would matter and then they just didn't at the end. So I would definitely sacrifice this to a fire, except not this copy because I really like the cover, but I'll get another one and sacrifice that. Question 10, last question. Which book do you think everyone should read? So I read a book at the beginning of the year that was a surprise find and was absolutely fantastic. Orfeia by Joanne Harris. This book was incredible. It is a mix of a retelling of Orpheus and Eurydice, except with a mother and a child. But also, before the book starts, the Queen of the Fae left to live in the mortal world. So you have these two different stories entwining of this mother returning to the land of the Fae to try and save her child, while also being the lost queen and why did she leave initially, it really was a magical read and it was heartbreaking. I remember this book being so very sad at points, but it was beautiful at the same time. The world building is just completely nonsensical. The Land of the Fae is something that doesn't have any rules to it in this book, and it shows so well. This copy also has illustrations in it. I hope that means that all copies have illustrations in it. The illustrations are just really cute and lend so much to the story. I really enjoyed this book and I would highly recommend it to everybody. So that was the Christmas Song book tag. I hope you had fun and I will see you tomorrow for another Bookmas video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Bye!